My oaths betray each other till there's nothing left to keep.
Only Us by Miracle of Sound. Alright, and welcome back to the Shardbreaker podcast. This is episode 3 of Oathbringer, which is the third book in the Stormlight Archive. We did chapters 12 to 16 this week. I am Midnight, your host, and I am here with Darkness.
Hello.
And Mythic.
Why am I never first?
I literally do you first sometimes. I make sure to go back and forth.
Nope, no idea what you're talking about.
Oh
You
my
never
goodness.
make me go first.
I have definitely made you first multiple times.
Nah,
I stumble over my
you're
words.
lying. You're a liar.
Uh-huh. So just to note at the start of this episode, I feel like the fucking epigraphs in these chapters were very like nothings. So I'm probably just gonna read them and not really ask any questions. I had no idea what the fuck to ask about these fucking epigraphs. So we'll just probably read them out, and then maybe I might just ask you guys like, oh, at the end, any new thoughts about who's writing it or what the book Oathbringer is about?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's Dalinar.
Okay. What do you think, Darkness? Who is it?
Tell
Yeah,
him.
I agree.
You guys both
Yeah,
think it's
like-
Dalinar now? Okay.
Who else would it be? There's
I
not
think
like
Darkness
it's
thought
only
it was-
between him and Yasna.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think one of you said it was Yasna previously.
Yeah, it's literally the only two people it could be are him and Yasna.
You don't think it's like
No
Navani?
one else. No,
You don't think it's Shallan?
no, definitely not Shallan. She's not that. She's not
It's
that.
not Syl? Syl's become a heretic?
No.
And she's learned to write?
Actually, it's that one Ardent,
Which one? There's many Ardents.
the one that was fighting
The
with
one.
Dalinar.
Oh, the Kadash?
Sure.
It's just the one. Their name is the one.
No.
No, the one is a
someone-
god to the Eerie Alley.
Yeah.
So yeah, so our epigraph for chapter 12, sorry, I can speak.
Whoa.
Our chapter is called Negotiations for chapter 12, and the epigraph is, I ask not that you forgive me, not that you even understand. From Oathbringer, preface. So we start with Dalinar's point of view as he stares out a large window on an upper floor of Urithiru, thinking that if they weren't above the storms, no one would dare face a window in this direction, as the glass is too brittle. Dalinar speaks to the Stormfather about the Knights Radiant and how good they were, but the Stormfather reminds him that they were just normal people like Dalinar and that they did betray the Spren eventually. Dalinar asks about what happened with the previous Radiants, but the Stormfather said that Dalinar should know best that some things are better left forgotten in the past. Dalinar's a bit stung by
Yeah,
those
and then
words.
he references whatever happened to his wife.
Yeah, he's basically like, oh yeah, isn't it better that don't you know better than anyone not to like forget things because you forgot all about your wife, asshole? And Dalinar's like, wow, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, and then it makes me think that he actually murdered his wife. But I kind of think it would probably have been like an accident, like he was attacking somebody and she jumped in the way and he stabbed her or something.
Mm.
And then he tried to forget it because he's a terrible human being.
I see. Anyway, so my question here though was, what do you think about the Stormfather refusing to talk about why the Knights Radiants betrayed humans and their Spren?
Probably because he's to blame or something, or the Spren are to blame somehow.
So you think he just like wants to blame the Knights Radiant, but really maybe the Spren were involved and they fucked things up? But he's like, no, the Spren are perfect.
Yep, exactly.
I see. What did you think, Darkness?
I feel like that's on the right track, but also, I also feel like he doesn't want them to repeat it.
So you think for some reason, like whatever happened, like if they hear about it, they're gonna be like, oh shit, maybe that was a good thing they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, like splitting odium. Or not odium,
I was gonna say, like,
whatever that.
I was like, is this some theory that you're working on or something?
No. What's the god
Adonasium.
name? Adonasium, that's it, yeah. Like splitting Adonasium.
Yeah.
Splitting odium.
So Dalinar glances around the room, which is an amphitheater that had little platforms beside each seat for each radiant spren. Dalinar has Adalar, his daughter May, Navani, Brightness Kalami, 2 of Kalami's wards, and Teshav Kal and his group here to speak with the Emperor through Spanreed. After Kalami reads off the Emperor's title, Teshav mentions how people think the Viziers had made up the story of the new Emperor, raising a child from the dead so they could get a new prime, since no one else wanted the position with the assassin in white around. Navani then has Kalami thank the Emperor and his translators for writing to them. Dalinar asks the Emperor to come visit, along with any guards he feels are necessary. Dalinar thinks about how the Aegis Prime claims to be the king of all the Makavaki kingdoms, but is really only the king of Azir. The Aegis then respond saying they thank Dalinar for warning them of the Everstorm and that they will note him as a friend to Azir in their history books. Navani encouraged Dalinar to press more for the meeting, as the Aegis had been avoiding the request. However, the Aegis continue to avoid the request to visit, which is obviously on purpose at this point. Dalinar tries a different tactic and tells the Aegis that he will happily share information with them about the transformed Parshman, which the Aegis seem happy to accept. Are you going to say something, Darkness?
No, that was me, but yeah, no,
sorry.
I was just,
Dalinar says he'll make sure they are sent reports about their fights with the Parshendi over the years and the changes they saw in them during their last fight, before asking what happened with the Voidbringers in Azir. Dalinar and the others in the room are shocked then to hear that the Aegis had been in negotiations with the Voidbringers, although the new Voidbringers apparently have unreasonable conditions. They note that most of the Voidbringers cannot write, but some seem to have different abilities and speak differently, and can also write. Azir is trying to stall armed combat, increase their defenses while they negotiate. So what do you think about these Voidbringers trying to negotiate with the Azish?
Super smart, but they probably also have like a ulterior motive.
I'm not even fully convinced that they are negotiating.
Do you think it's
you think that the Aegis are lying?
Yeah, because like, what if they're just doing that to seem strong and hide how much damage there really is going on?
Oh, you think maybe they destroyed some stuff, stole some stuff, and ran away like they did in like Alethkarb, and then like the Aegis are just like, oh yeah, they're negotiating because that's what people do. We're negotiating with them.
Yeah,
that's their whole thing. So they're like, oh, that makes sense to them.
But also, like, if you have an ally, quote unquote ally, and that ally has an enemy, right? And you're not entirely sure if you want to be allies with that ally, but you're not enemies with the same enemy, you could always just like risk the treaty or whatever in order to try to pull more support from that same ally.
I see.
So like what if they just want Dalinar to give more,
Oh, you think they're trying to maybe get like the advantage in whatever negotiation deal they have with Dalinar by like trying to like withhold things, being like, oh, we know things about the Voidbringers that you don't know because they're negotiating with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like, if you don't give us more, we're just gonna side with them type shit.
An interesting tactic.
It's just called being petty.
Sure. Still an interesting tactic.
Yeah, it would be. So the Aegis then state that their Oathgate does not work, but Navani states it must be a lie, as she assured the Oathgate is incorporated into a large market in the capital city. The Alethi one seems to have been incorporated into the palace, and the Thalen one was made into a religious monument. The Aegis then sent an affidavit that the Oathgate doesn't work, but really it only says that when it's turned off, the Oathgate does not function. Which, duh. Dalinar then tries to press the Aegis more into working together, but all it does is make the Aegis backtrack on what they said about negotiating with the Voidbringers and end the conversation quickly. So what did you think about the Aegis' response to being like, oh yeah, our Oathgate doesn't work, we're actually not negotiating, okay, bye.
I mean, if it don't work, it don't work. Even though we know damn well it does work.
When my electricity is turned off, my light switches don't work. So the light switches are obviously the issue.
Obviously.
Right.
It's definitely just not that there's no power to them right now. That's basically what they're saying. They're like, oh yeah, because we don't have electricity.
Off, so it doesn't work.
Yeah. When my computer's turned off, I can't open a website.
My headset died.
Wait, your computer... Yeah, say your computer's turned off. Maybe that's the reason that your headset never works.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually recording all this on my phone. It's definitely great quality.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't put that past you, to be honest.
I would not do
To
that.
be fair, it could be great quality. We don't know what type of phone you have.
I don't think it's that good.
I mean, it's got good enough. It's got good enough quality for you to use your avatar on it. So
yeah. So a second span read then begins to blink, and Kalami states that it must be the Thalons, writing to them, who's writing to them early. Kalami notes that Queen Fen seems to be writing directly instead of using a scribe. Dalinar compliments Fen and states that he would like to meet with her in Urithiru, but Fen replies bluntly and non-formally as she tells Dalinar to speak plainly to her. Navani states that she always liked Queen Fen and that her speaking bluntly is a good thing. Dalinar insists that he wants Fen to visit as things are changing, and she says of course things are, as the Voidbringers are here and are destroying cities. Fen then states that the Voidbringers had some scuffles with her people, but mainly they just stole a bunch of ships and sailed away. The Everstorm, however, had destroyed a lot of the city, as even with the warning they hadn't been able to do much before the storm came. So what do you think about the Voidbringers stealing ships in Thalena? So they're like stealing food and random stuff in Alethkar, they're maybe negotiating in Azir, they're stealing ships in Thalena, like what do you think they're doing?
nothing good, that's for sure.
What do you say,
They're
Darkness?
preparing for the desolation themselves.
You think they're like trying to like gather supplies before properly attacking instead of just like rampaging?
Well, I was thinking, what if it's less like attacking now and more like just survival? Because like this is people of like fucking, was it thousands, hundreds of years later?
Yeah,
from the
they're
original
like not hundreds of
edition.
thousands of years later, but they're like I think like two
No,
or three.
hundreds or thousands.
Oh,
I
sorry.
don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's like two or 3,000 years since the last desolation.
Yeah, like how are they supposed to know like if they're even the biggest threat there? Because like I feel like it's less of the parchment that are the threat than something else that comes with the desolation.
So you're more worried about like Odium and what he might be doing with the Voidbringers and the
Yeah.
Voidbringers themselves.
Yeah. Because it feels more like they're preparing for like shelter, anything in general, but
They're like, oh shit, I have free will all of a sudden. Let me get this food and fucking run.
right. Before the bad guy comes and takes my free will, which is gonna happen anyway, but still.
Yeah, for sure. Also, what do you think about Queen Fen? Do you guys like her? Do you dislike her?
She seems childlike, kind of like that one character we saw in the other
Lift
book or whatever. Yeah, wait, is that it? I don't know.
Lift is the edge dancer that we saw in the novella.
Yeah, like her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what she kind of reminds me
I
of.
felt that vibe
A child.
But
like she's got like this childlike mentality.
I don't know. I didn't really like the Queen.
Yeah, Queen Fen.
Really either, but I mean, I don't really like the other chick either. So
Lift.
Yeah, I mean, she just like I said, they're very childlike.
Queen Fen, though, I think is like Navani and Dalinar's age.
Yeah, well, she still seems very childlike.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, whatever you think of her personality, she Lift is a child. Queen Fen is not.
They did technically reference the one guy that
they referenced Gox, who I believe they now call. I think his name that the Viziers have given him as like his king name is Yonagon, but I always just call him Gox because it's like way shorter. Gox kind of was talking to Dalinar, but I'm pretty sure they didn't let him actually write anything because based on the Lift novella, she's kind of like, yeah, they don't really let him do anything. He's kind of just like a figurehead type thing. And I like how still everyone's just like, oh yeah, the whole bring someone back to life thing wasn't real. But that's just because the story got changed from Lift did it to Yonagon somehow saved some random person. It's like, no. He was the one who was brought back to life by a Radiant, which makes way more sense. But everyone's like, yeah, no, it's just like some weird story they made up to try and like force some random person to become like their king because no one wanted to be murdered by Zeth. It's just funny. Dalinar tries to insist on Fen visiting anyways, as he wanted to bring a group of monarchs together to fight the Voidbringers. But Fen snarkily replies that it would of course be led by Dalinar. When Dalinar suggests opening the Oathgate in Thelena, Aladar mentions how hard it would actually be to do that, since it would need a Radiant on the Thaylen side. Fen then states that she doesn't want to deal with the other monarchs, as she has to rebuild her city. And when Dalinar tries to offer soldiers to help her rebuild, she refuses to have Lethi troops in her city. Dalinar realizes she is worried about an army suddenly appearing in the middle of their town square. Dalinar then tries to give Fen information about the Radiants and how she might already have some in her city to make her trust him more. Aladar, however, mentions that they might end up with competing groups of Radiants if they give away too much information, so Dalinar adds a note about his Radiants helping to train any Fen discovers. However, this causes Fen to go back to formal speech and ends the conversation with saying she'll send any information they get about the fleeing Voidbringers. So what do you think exactly caused Fen to stop wanting to, talking to Dalinar? Because she went from, being very, open and, kind of just, talking super casually to being like, oh, yes, I am queen, time to go now.
To be fair,
and then she went back, so...
To be fair, if I had a kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And somebody told me, oh, you have these super powerful beings that can be popping up in your kingdom. Let me go ahead and take them for a bit. I would also be on guard.
Yeah, because, the whole situation, which I think Dalinar goes into very briefly, but not a lot, is Alethkar has been a very war-hungry nation for a very long time. Mm-hmm. They've, at some point in recent history, fought most of the, eastern and, central kingdoms. So no one wants them in their country. They're like, oh, you want to bring soldiers into my city, magically teleporting them? No. Absolutely not. Because you're just going to take over because you're a war-hungry nation. And then, and then also she's like, oh yeah, you want to take any Radiants we find and, brainwash them to your side? Nah, I'm good, thanks.
Which, mind you, will happen. It's Dalinar. Regardless of whether he wants it to happen or not.
Yep. So,
yeah, Elhokar is literally proof of that.
Yeah, he literally beat the fuck out of Elhokar at the end of, was it book 2? No, book 1. He beat the fuck out of him, and then has slowly, been, just doing whatever the fuck he wants, and it's you say you're trying to do things peacefully, but you still have, even though he's trying to do things for better reasons, he's technically still not a fully, completely different person than he was in the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it kind of makes sense that these other countries are maybe not. So Dalinar then speaks to a couple smaller Makabaki nations, but doesn't get much information out of them, as they wouldn't tell him much without Azir's recommendations. Once the meeting is over and the others begin to leave, Dalinar thinks about how he'll have to talk to the three monarchs of Eri, as they and their neighboring country Rira have oath gates. Navani has also sent out word to the Shin through a Thaylen merchant, as the Shin don't like to use span reeds. So why do you think the Shin don't like span reeds?
Magic.
They're Fabrials, right?
Yes, they're Fabrials.
Spren gemstones?
You think it's because they don't like the Spren the gemstones type thing?
Yeah, they don't like it.
Yeah, so we've gotten little hints from Zeth, they kind of hate everything that has to do with every other country. They're we don't like to walk on stone, we don't just call them chickens, there are different types of birds, we don't like to use Fabrials, we think soldiers are the lowest class of people possible.
As they are.
They've got the very differing views from most of the other nations on Roshar. But yeah. Also, I have a feeling that, I don't think they ever confirm it, but I have a feeling the Thaylen merchant that goes to talk to the Shin is probably the guy that trained Risen, because his whole thing was that he was able to trade with the Shin when a lot of other people couldn't. So I feel like that's a little shout out to that guy.
Who the fuck is Risen?
Risen is the girl who fell off the giant great shells and she's broke her legs. You hated her, the guy that trained her, because he was oh yeah, it was a test thing. You weren't actually properly negotiating with them. And she got her cute little dragon flying Kremling friend.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she has a one interlude every book. So we had the interlude where she got grass in Shinovar and was what the fuck's wrong with this grass? And had to take care of it, and then the second book she broke her legs.
Wow.
So So as Dalinar goes to leave the room, he notices Elhokar peeking in. Dalinar is glad to see Elhokar, but Elhokar asks if the other monarchs refuse Dalinar because they think he'll try to usurp their thrones. Dalinar's a bit taken aback, but Elhokar says he doesn't say it out of spite, and that Dalinar is a better soldier, man, and king than he is. Dalinar tries to refute this, but Elhokar says he doesn't want platitudes. Elhokar then says that he needs to admit that he isn't a fraction of the man that his father was, and that maybe he'd be a fine king in normal times, but he isn't what the people need during a desolation. Elhokar then asks his mother and Tashav to witness him say something, and Dalinar starts to panic, telling Elhokar not to do this right now. Elhokar, in front of the rest of the people in the room, then makes Dalinar High King of Urithiru and of the Shattered Plains. Navani and Dalinar demand to know what Elhokar is doing, what this would mean, and make sure that he is not abdicating. Elhokar states that Dalinar would have to choose an heir to take over his lands in Alethkar, and it would put Dalinar above Elhokar while they are in Urithiru, but Elhokar would be fully made to do wouldn't be fully made to do anything Dalinar says. So what did you think, first of all, about Elhokar's reflections about himself? He's like, yeah, I know I'm not a good king, I'm not a good soldier, definitely not what this kingdom needs during a desolation, so
At first I thought it was great, and then I wasn't really happy with how he kind of threw a tantrum when it didn't go his way.
What do you think, Darkness, about
Elhokar? I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm such a victim in all of this.
He's gone from being like, I'm right no matter what because I'm king, to I'm just pathetic, just let me abdicate, like, you just take over everything anyways.
Why won't you let me do what I want?
What did you think, Darkness, about Elhokar's reflections on himself?
I mean, he did what he had to do, though.
I mean, honestly, although it's kind of takes away part of his power, it might also make him look a bit better to the other High Princes, because then when Dalinar walks all over him, it's like, well, that's because we're in Urithiru, where it's his territory. He doesn't walk all over me in the Alethkar, but he can here, because this is his place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think that's a cop-out, to be honest.
It's definitely a cop-out, but also, what else is he going to do? Dalinar's going to do what he's going to do. And apparently Navani and Dalinar will not let him abdicate the throne. So he's like,
yeah.
What the fuck am I supposed to do then?
Don't abdicate the throne, duh.
Yeah, but then he gets walked all over and people are like, well, he's basically not even king anyways.
Yeah, well, sucks to be you. Don't listen to the haters.
Off with their heads.
Exactly. Off with their heads. 100%. King Louis III.
So Dalinar agrees, but says they should have scribes write up the exact changes before they start acting on them. Dalinar also mentions that they should make sure there is still an Alethkar for Elhokar to rule, which leads into Elhokar mentioning that he wants to go to Alethkar with an army to retake the capital city. Dalinar, however, thinks that would be difficult, but mentions that if Elhokar goes with a small group to open the Oath Gate, they could transfer an army right into the palace. Dalinar is worried about Elhokar going, but agrees that it would be good for the king to be with the group that saves the city. Elhokar has glories friend appear around him, and he mentions that he only seems to be able to see them when he is around Dalinar. Elhokar also requests to bring Kaladin with him to the capital, as he thinks that if he fails, Kaladin at least can save Kholinar. Elhokar refers to Kaladin as the hero repeatedly, as he mentions how he wants to learn to be more like Kaladin while on this journey, but that they'll have to wait for Kaladin to get back before heading out. Elhokar then leaves, excitedly figuring out what information he'll need and how he'll plan for the trip to Kholinar. So what do you think about Elhokar's, idolization of Kaladin here?
It's valid.
Yeah. It's very valid.
Yeah, because Elhokar's Elhokar is basically saying, I want to be Kaladin. I wish I was Kaladin.
Not gonna lie, so do I. Yeah. Kaladin just has a great life.
He does now, maybe.
He has a great life. Always has.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Always had a great life.
Also, what do you think about this plan for this small team to go in to try and save Kholinar and open the Oath Gate there?
Who the fuck is in charge of Kholinar right now?
Elhokar's wife, who sounds like she's kind of going crazy a little bit or something. They've not heard from her. All the reports are oh yeah, all these riots that are happening in the capital right now are because of her. we had an interlude in the last book where like basically this new ardent was like, wow, the queen exemplifies all of the opposite traits of the heralds, which are like the traits of the 10 fools, and she like wrote this like whole thing on like the floor of the palace being like,
Oh yeah,
wow,
yeah,
the
yeah.
queen's so fucking shitty.
I mean, she's not wrong, right?
We've not seen the queen. We have no idea. I'm not sure if we've ever once met her. We also during Yasna's prologue in one of the books, you know, where we had like her view of like the day Gavilar died. She briefly mentions potentially wanting to assassinate Elikar's wife, but then doesn't.
They just want her dead then. Like, just, I might as well.
It sounds like no one except for Elikar likes his wife, basically. But we have not met her.
I wonder why he likes her. Like, what's the reason?
I have no idea. We haven't met her yet.
Can he just not see, like, what's going on? Or?
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, has spent most of the last 6 years away from her as well, while at the Shattered Plains.
Yeah, so he obviously doesn't like her either. Got it.
But he keeps insisting, I think, whenever they're like, oh yeah, these like riots are happening, he's like, yeah, but once I see my wife, like, we'll get things figured out with her, because she's probably being held captive. And they're like, that's not what the reports say, but sure. I believe he also has a son with her.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's what it is.
He just wants his son.
Motherhood.
Well.
Yeah, so he has a son with her that he's not also, I think, seen like barely at all the last 6 years. So good times. He seems like a great
Very
dad.
Good times. Yep. Great dad.
But yeah, so then the end of this chapter, we have Dalinar and Navani both collapsing in their chairs in relief as Elikar leaves. However, they are soon called over to by the scribe, stating that Taravangian has happily agreed to open his oath gate, as he's found a radiant in his city and wants to come visit in person. Dalinar thinks it's a blessing to have someone as great as Taravangian around.
Oh my god, when they said that shit, I was like, no, bro, like, no. Like, dude, what?
Aren't we so happy to have Taravangian here to, like, help Dalinar out?
Oh my god, yeah.
Great guy.
That's exactly who they need.
Definitely the best person to have coming to see you. But yeah, so what do you think Taravangian's plans are here?
I don't know, but if that fucking other spren, you know, one of the Odium spren or whatever?
The Void
like
spren,
the Thrill?
Yeah. Oh, you mean like this, like the Unmade? You mean?
Yeah, that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if that comes with Taravangian, they're all faked.
You think he's gonna bring one of the Unmade with him?
I do. That's what I think.
What do you think Taravangian's plans are, Mythic? What do you think his plan is here, working with Dalinar, after trying to get Zeth to kill him?
Pretty much the same thing Darkness just said.
Okay. You think
either way, it's nothing good. Yeah. Nothing good. That's
probably
for sure.
not. I mean, he did want Dalinar assassinated.
No. They're gonna be best friends. They're gonna enter a marriage contract.
He's already married to Navani.
Is there something against having a third?
Yeah, exactly. And
I don't know how Vorinism, if Vorinism approves of having more than 2 people in a marriage.
Exactly. You know nothing. Right?
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Also, do you think Dalinar is going to eventually discover Taravangian's kind of like true intentions, or do you think he's going to be completely oblivious to Taravangian this whole book?
He's going to be oblivious. Somebody else is going to discover it, and I'm going to assume it's going to be Shallan.
That'd be interesting. Because yeah, Shallan has a little bit of a history with Taravangian. She's met him a few times back in the first book.
Yeah.
I mean, he straight up told her before, like, I'm not a good person. I don't think her or Yasna believed him. They're like, oh, he just feels bad because he's not, like, perfect. And it's like, no, he knows he's not a good person, and he's okay with that. So let me get chapter 13, Chaperone. The epigraph is, I ask only that you read or listen to these words, from Oathbringer Preface. And we switch to Shallan's point of view, as she walks through a cloud of stormlight that she has breathed out. Currently, she was in Sabarial's section of Earthiru, as he had promised her a room with a balcony. She had put on her veiled disguise using her stormlight, knowing that her hair had turned black and her hands had become calloused. She walks around the room in a gait that matched Veil, and thinks that she needs to be able to use this disguise without drawing a sketch first, which is why she was practicing. Shallan also knows she has very little furniture in her room, but hopes that Sabarial will get some more and that she can take some from him. Shallan practices speaking like Veil and seems to be able to use her abilities to change her voice, which Pattern calls a good lie. So what do you think about Shallan being able to not just create images, but also alter sounds with her illusions?
She's getting stronger. Kill her now. She's becoming a witch.
Honestly, she's kind of weird. I feel like it's not just the order stuff that she has going on.
You think there's something else?
Yeah, probably.
Do you think the sound thing is something else, or do you think that's part of the light weaving abilities, is that you can not just create visual illusions, but auditory illusions?
That's so weird, though. The fact that she's able to do that. Because then wouldn't they just change the name to something else? Yeah, I'm gonna say that's something else.
I mean, I think her surge is technically her surge is called illumination. They call it, kind of generally speaking, light weaving, but the technical surge name is illumination. Just like how soul casting isn't technically called soul casting, that's just their word for it. It's the surge of transformation.
Right, but that makes sense. Illumination would still be just light-based illusions and stuff like that, or light-based stuff in general.
Mm.
And then she had to have Pattern make noises at some point, right?
Yeah, I think she in the past has had attached an illusion to Pattern, and then he would speak because he's able to mimic voices and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just learning from Pattern.
She just thinks this is part of her abilities, and she's actually just learning how to mimic voices.
Ew, can you imagine if she just walked up to a council meeting with the fucking Radiance and she's like, I am Dalinar.
So Shallan compares herself in her mirror to the sketches she had drawn of Veil, flipping past pictures of the strata in the hallways of Earthiru and of the large market. She decides that her body frame was wrong for Veil, which she'd have to fix. A knock then comes from the wooden board next to her door, as her room only had a curtain for a door at the moment. Shallan, expecting it to be Bellona, called for the person to come in after she draws the stormlight from her illusion back into herself. However, instead it was Adolin with some food. Shallan is shocked and hides her uncovered safe hand before shouting for Adolin to get back out of the room. He awkwardly backs up as he bounces the tray of food. Shallan hurriedly dresses as Adolin calls out to her that she was being ridiculous as she called him into the room in the first place. Eventually, Shallan
they're betrothed.
Yes. Eventually, Shallan finishes dressing as she teases Adolin about seeing his birthmark that he mentions is on the back of his thigh. Adolin complains that her shift covers all the same things as a normal dress does, except for her safe hand, apparently. But Shallan shoots back that you could say the same thing about soldier uniforms versus other coats. Plus, Adolin was the one who was always looking through fashion folios anyways. So what do you think about how close Shallan still is with Sabarial and Bellona, even though she is no longer has to pretend to be related to them?
I like it. It's kind of cute.
She's got new parents because she killed her other ones, so now she's got new ones.
She didn't kill her father.
She did kill her father. Yeah, remember she strangled him to death with her necklace.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. I thought she only killed her mother.
No, she killed her mom and then she kills the dad later on.
Y'all need to chill the fuck out.
I mean, dads in these books are just kind of shit people anyways, so.
Apparently her mom was also shit, though. I mean, her mom tried to,
Nah, her mom saw the danger in the weeds and tried to end it quickly. Unfortunately, she couldn't. She was like, my daughter's going to be super dangerous. I gotta finish her now.
So Shallan helps Adolin inside, carrying some books he had under one of his arms. She notes that he seems to actually find her beautiful, and seems to like her, and that she definitely needs to not mess up this relationship. Adolin mentions that Bellona gave him all this food after finding out that he had skipped dinner, and Shallan also had. Shallan is grateful for the food, as she had been considering just getting something at a tavern, while out as Veil. Adolin then realizes he's technically in Shallan's bedroom, and is a bit worried if they should be alone in here together, but she teases him about that after he was so nonchalant about seeing her in her shift just a moment ago. Shallan, however, says they aren't alone anyways, since Pattern is here with them. She also briefly thinks about how she killed her mother, which had caused her dad to cover it up and become horrible while trying to hide it, and then she had killed him. Shallan properly introduces Adolin to Pattern before telling Pattern he needs to be their chaperone. Pattern isn't sure what a chaperone is, and when told he's to watch them and make sure they don't do anything inappropriate, Pattern asks if by inappropriate she means
no
things
mating.
Like dividing by 0. No mating comes later.
No mating.
He's like, what?
No mating.
Dividing by 0? And Shallan and Adolin are confused, but begin to eat as Pattern decides to rest on a bowl. So yeah, what did you think about Pattern's definition of inappropriate actions?
No mating.
What did you think, Darkness, about the dividing by 0 comment?
That was amusing. I did like that.
Yeah. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but like all the cryptics, apparently all their names are like mathematical formulas and stuff like that, which make a pattern, and that's why he goes by Pattern.
Yeah.
So he's like, what is inappropriate? Dividing by 0? Yes. Definitely what they mean.
Very, very inappropriate.
I wonder which one of them has the unfortunate luck to have that name.
What, 0?
Dividing by 0?
Yeah, a divisible by 0 formula.
Oh no. Oh no.
They're an outcast. No one likes them.
That must be the greatest shame of their people.
Yeah, no, they're like, wow, your parents really hated you, did they? So yeah, Adolin eventually offers Shallan some of the men's food, which she reluctantly tries before instantly regretting her choice as she downs both their glasses of water and wipes at her tongue with her napkin because it's so spicy. Suddenly, Pattern exclaims that by inappropriate, Shallan must have meant that he was to keep them from mating. He mentions he has been researching human customs, and then tells them not to mate before happily humming to himself.
Yep, no mating.
No mating. Shallan quickly changes the subject to the books Adolin brought, and he mentions that the small one is all the information about the noble that had been murdered recently. The other books were the ones he thought she'd like about Makabaki politics, as they were ones he remembered being helpful when Avani and Yasna had forced him to listen to ardent tutors in his youth. Yeah, I will say that the no mating thing with Pattern has become a huge meme.
Oh, I bet. I was already memeing it.
Yeah, it's very memeable. That and stick. Those are like two of the biggest memes. I am a stick and no mating.
I've always been a stick.
I am a stick.
I can't be fire.
Yep, I am a stick. So yeah, what do you think about Yasna and Avani specifically being the ones to make sure Adolin had a good education and not Dalinar or Adolin's mother?
Sounds like they care more about him than everybody else. Either that or those other people just think education is useless.
I mean, it sounds like Dalinar was probably out fighting most of Adolin's childhood. So yeah, we don't know much about his
great father,
his mom yet.
Great father.
Apparently, she was from Rira, where they worship the One and stuff. So maybe she taught him other weird shit and not about politics.
No wonder he murdered her.
He's like, can you stop teaching our son about these pagan religions?
Exactly, murder. I don't know why he would want to forget that. I mean, that's a great reason to murder somebody.
What do you think, Darkness, though, about Yasna and Avani being the one to make sure Adolin got educated growing up?
That I mean, with the type of women they are, it makes sense.
Do you think it was because just like his mom either didn't care about that sort of stuff, or maybe because like she doesn't know what he would need to learn as like the heir to a high prince? She's from a completely different culture. Maybe she just like was like, you guys take the lead. I don't know what he needs to know.
I mean, yeah, that would make sense. She doesn't know, how could she teach him?
Yeah, I mean, those who can't do teach, right?
So Shallan is thankful to him, and Adolin also mentions that he's worried about messing up their relationship since Shallan is a Radiant now, and he doesn't have the best track record with relationships. Shallan replies that she doubts anyone is good with relationships, and briefly mentions how the previous guy she liked almost killed her while trying to kill Yasna. Adolin relaxes a bit as they joke about their previous relationships, before almost kissing, but Pattern stops them by shouting for them not to mate. They laugh before Shallan
Don't mate!
No mating! They laugh before Shallan suggests they go through the notebook about the last murder. So were you surprised that Adolin was as nervous as Shallan about fucking up the relationship?
Fucking yeah. Oh yeah, totally. He's been doing that. He's been doing that forever. I don't know why he would be so worried about it now.
Crazy that he's worried about messing up this relationship, but he wasn't worried about messing up the other ones.
Hmm.
Did we lose Minute again?
No, I'm here.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we lost her.
I'm here.
Yeah, we
Oh
lost
my
her.
gosh.
Yeah, she's
My,
gone.
my document just did something weird, so I was just trying to fix it, but it's fine.
I guess
So
we'll just have to wait, Darkness, until
no,
she
it's
gets back.
fine. I'm
Yeah,
here.
doesn't she understand that radio silence is not good
Chapter
for a podcast?
14.
Yeah, I mean, dead air is terrible.
Chapter 14. Squires can't capture. So we get the epigraph. In this record, I hold nothing back. I will try not to shy away from the difficult topics or paint myself in a dishonestly heroic light. From Oathbringer Preface. So this epigraph make you guys feel more or less like it's Dalinar.
So we're just gonna wait, right, Darkness, till she comes back?
You guys seriously gonna keep ignoring me?
No.
I completely forgot we were doing that. I was about to answer.
I know you were about to answer. That's why I said his whole thing real quick.
But yeah, when's she coming back?
We switched to Kaladin's point of view.
Wait, no, I still think it's no, I mean,
still think it's
I don't know. I have this weird feeling that it could be Adolin too.
Oh, you think it could be Adolin
I
now
still
as
think it's
well?
Dalinar.
But like, yeah, I mean, Dalinar is our biggest like chance here.
Mm-hmm. So we switch to Kaladin's point of view as he sneaks through the rain to spy on some Voidbringers who happen to be playing cards. The small temporary camp they were using had only one guard and didn't seem to have any hidden guards as he had expected. Most of the tarps they were using were also leaking, although they had one fully enclosed tent. Kaladin notes that the Voidbringers weren't wearing war form like R'lain does, but they also didn't have a powerful form like storm form. And I just want to know, I think they likely are wearing work form, is probably the form that this group is using. So he overhears them discussing how the card game works, and the male is frustrated that he doesn't fully know how to play, even though he has watched humans play the game tons of times. The female walks away as Kaladin glances over at some other Voidbringers trying to start a fire, while others eat soggy grain from their hands as they don't have bowls. Kaladin thinks their view of the Voidbringers is completely wrong. However, his thoughts are interrupted by a yellow spren shouting out Kaladin's location. Kaladin quickly stands as the Voidbringers grab basic weapons, although they don't look confident or practiced. Kaladin thinks he could easily take them without Stormlight, so instead he surrenders. So what do you think about the Voidbringers now that you've seen a little group of them doing their own thing?
It just seemed like they want to survive. I don't understand. They just seem like normal people. Oh.
Yeah, that's what Kaladin says too. He's like, wow, they literally have like Alethi accents. They just seem to be doing whatever. Like they don't seem like Voidbringers to him.
I mean, they also don't technically know what a Voidbringer is, so
It's true. But yeah, they're like, how do I fucking play this card game? I feel like I should know how to play this card game, but I don't, and I'm annoyed by it. Also,
Bringer of the Void.
What do you think about the yellow spren?
That's piss spren.
Spren.
I mean, there has to be that, right? It has to exist.
Apparently, I mean, Kaladin's mom has said that everything has
something.
spren. Yeah, everything has spren, so there should be piss spren, yes.
Oh, no. If there's piss spren...
Is there poop spren?
Yeah, there's probably poop spren, too.
And if there's... I wonder if there's sexual intercourse spren.
Yes, there is.
I think there is passion spren.
Passion.
Yeah, there is passion spren. I don't think there's ones that are like specifically just for sex, but there's like passion spren, which are like whenever I'm sure whenever.
What about rape spren?
Oh.
I think that'd be probably a different like emotional. Right? I think it'd probably be another emotion spren, but more of like a negative one. Like I'm sure that the person being attacked would have fear spren show up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's
so
not
what
always
if they
like
so fear spren and passion spren mixed together. Got it.
Probably.
They become one. They become one spren.
There's not usually a lot of like spren for like always specific like for actions. It's more so you would have emotions associated with actions. So there's like spren for objects and spren for emotions, I think is how it's supposed to be. It sounds.
Oh, so that's why there are women spread for
Wow,
objects.
that's crazy.
Wow. But yeah, so there's like object sprint and then there's emotion sprint. I think they say that like the emotions. I think Syl has said before, like the emotion sprint are of honor, and the like object sprint are more of cultivation type thing. Although they're all kind of like a mix outside of the honor and cultivation sprint.
Gotcha. So if honor and cultivation spread had a baby, got it.
I thought you said Connor.
Oh my god.
Connor.
No.
Connor and cultivation had a baby.
That would be weird. Let's not go there.
I think Connor could make a great baby with cultivation.
Okay, I don't think Connor's gonna appreciate this.
What do you mean? He'll love it.
Anyways,
Yeah,
we're going to chapter 15.
I think our editor will love it.
We're going to chapter 15, Brightness Radiant. Oh, wait,
Why
I
would
need
we
to
do
pull up
that?
a picture. There was a picture.
We gotta stay here.
Let's bring your interior art. Where is the picture of Earthiru's hallways that are all distorted? There we go. That is Shallan's drawing of the corridors of Earthiru. They're also all fucked up, just like her drawing of the outside of Earthiru.
Just like her head.
So the epigraph is, I will express only direct, even brutal truth. You must know what I have done and what those actions cost me. From Oathbringer Preface. So we switch back to Shallan's point of view as she and Adolin discuss whether it's one murderer or two. Shallan thinks it can't be two different people since the body was positioned the same and killed the same way, but Adolin insists that it's likely two people. Pattern is humming near Adolin on the wall as Adolin throws a small ball up and down into the air. Shallan also I've just realized I'll read this. I'm pretty I bet you the reason why Pattern's hanging out near Adolin during this conversation is because Adolin's lying. Because he's not telling Shallan that he killed Sadeas, and Pattern can probably feel that he's lying.
Oh.
So he's like just humming there, like, lies. I enjoy these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Somehow I'm a truth friend. Mm-hmm.
No, he's not a truth friend.
I know. She's a truth seeker or whatever the heck it was called.
I think you're thinking of the different radiant order called Truth Watchers, but no, he likes.
Is that it? Yeah.
That he's not that though. He's a cryptic, which is technically a lie spren, but he enjoys. I think the thing you.
What is she?
She's a light weaver.
What is she? Oh, I thought it was okay.
No,
Renarin's
the Truth Watcher.
Ah, true.
You got upset because her whole thing is her oaths have to be truths about herself, and you're like, why the fuck does the lie spread people need truths?
Oh, truths, yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's not the Truth Watcher. But yeah, I think it's more so they're drawn to people who lie a lot. Just like how honor spren are attracted to people who are very honorable. Like Kaladin.
You lie a lot.
Do I? Dun dun dun.
You do. Do you have a cryptid?
I don't. I'm slightly more Truth Watcher than Lightweaver, but I do have quite a high Lightweaver percentage.
Makes sense.
But yeah, where was I? I just had that realization of like, oh, Pattern's obviously hanging out with Adolin because Adolin's fucking lying. Because I was like, why is Pattern just like hanging out with him? And it's like, no, that's why. So Shallan also notes that Renarin had healed Adolin's hand, and she's glad that he now has a shard blade, so she won't have to be the only person working the Oath Gates anymore. Shallan then continues speaking on the murders, mentioning that considering how little Sadeas...
Kaladin has an oath. Doesn't Kaladin also have one?
Yeah, but Kaladin's not there right now, so like she's having to work the Oath Gate because he's not there too. So she's been like the only Radiant with a shard blade that works. And now Renarin has one
that
too.
Works.
So yeah, because the dead ones don't work. So like hers works, the dead ones don't work.
Yeah, Pattern's putting in work.
Yeah. And Shallan's getting re-traumatized every single fucking time. So she's like, thank God Renarin now has a shard blade, I only have to get traumatized half the time. She then continues speaking on the murders, mentioning that considering how little Sadeas and the other men had in common, besides them both being light-eyed, the killer could just be murdering when the opportunity arose. Aelin continues to insist on it being two separate people, and Shallan thinks this insistence is just because he's falling into the trap of being stuck on one idea instead of considering what the facts are really leading to. So do you think that Shallan's going to learn that about Adolin killing Sadeas, either from her own investigations or from Adolin telling her at some point?
From Adolin.
Yeah, 100%.
I think Adolin's just going to
Adolin's going to tell her, yeah. 100%.
You don't think he'll be able to hide it?
No.
I guess technically Pattern could also be the one to tell her. He'd be like, hey, Adel's been lying a lot. I like him. And she's gonna be like, what? Excuse you?
Mm-hmm.
He's a liar.
But yeah,
Like,
you don't think
Galen.
Aelin's gonna be able to keep it from her?
No. For one reason or another.
I don't think he's gonna want to.
So Shallan then thinks that maybe there are other murders, but they happen to less influential people, so no one has commented much on them. To see if this has happened, Shallan thinks she needs to go out looking for information. Adolin and Shallan both agree they should end this conversation for the night. Aelin because he thinks they won't get any farther with the information they have, and Shallan because she wants to go out as Vale to investigate. However, before Adolin leaves, he says he needs to talk about something else with Shallan, which causes Shallan to absolutely panic and think of all sorts of horrible things that Adolin could bring up. However, he instead says he wants to discuss Shallan training with her Shardblade. Aelin also asks if she secretly has Shardplate as well, but Shallan replies she doesn't and isn't sure where Shardplate comes from. So where do you guys think Shardplate comes from?
When you shart yourself?
That's Sharkplate, not Shardplate. Looking for Shardplate.
Oh, what's the difference?
One has poop in it.
I think they both have poop in it. They both
don't.
got some shitty people in it, that's for sure.
Wow.
That's valid.
But yeah, where do you think they come from? Because apparently Shardblades come from your Radiant Spren, but where does Shardplate come from?
Void Spren.
Mm-mm.
You think they somehow trap Void Spren and use them?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Darkness?
They also have gemstones, right?
Yeah, both the Shardblades and the Shardplate use gemstones to keep them working. Only the Shardblade's only when they're dead though. So Shallan's Shardblade does not have a gemstone on its pommel.
Huh.
It's
Just
they're
the
dead
modern
Void
blades
Spren.
don't. They're formed of all the Void Spren you kill. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know.
So Shallan reluctantly agrees, but wants to tell Adolin that she hates using the Shardblade. But before she can, he runs off to get some Shardblade guards. Pattern says that this will be good for Shallan, but Shallan instantly begins to panic, saying she can't be the type of person who can wield the sword. Pattern hums in confusion as Shallan decides she needs to be someone else when training with her Shardblade.
Okay,
Shallan
every time he does stuff like that where he hums, all I can think about are the singers.
You
I mean, I know you're not him.
Rhythms?
Yeah, he's singing to the rhythms or whatever, like the singers do.
You can't just hum and then not act like what?
Hmm?
You literally went,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're not him. You're not.
I love Pattern though. He's my favorite.
Yeah, you're not. Okay.
I wish I was a light weaver,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not.
You get no cryptids.
I know. I'm so sad about it.
Instead, you just get that ugly ass thing.
What was what, Darkness?
What was the question?
Was there a question? I thought I just made a comment.
Yeah, we just made a comment partway through my paragraph.
I don't remember. I had something to say, but I forgot.
Okay. Well, let me know if you remember it.
I'm not.
He's not gonna let you know.
Oh, you were talking about Patterns constantly oh, you hate me, and humming to the rhythms. Is that relevant to anything you were gonna say?
Humming to the rhythm. It has something to do with his humming.
Yeah, he does hum. Does a lot of humming.
Yeah, but I forgot what I was gonna say, so just whatever.
Okay. So Shallan frantically grabs her drawing supplies as Pattern says he could die so she could get a different Spren instead. Shallan thinks that maybe she could be Vale, but it wouldn't do any
He
good.
came all depressed again.
Yeah, he's like, it's okay, Shallan, if you hate me. She's just ignoring
I'll just
him.
be depressed. Mm-hmm.
But she doesn't want Adolin knowing about Vale, so instead she draws herself, but with hints of Yasna, someone who hadn't been sheltered and wasn't as erratic as Shallan was. She breathes out Stormlight, and the image takes over her. Brightness radiant, as Shallan decides she will be called, undoes her safe sleeve to reveal only her gloved hand. She also puts her hair up in a bun before Adolin returns with the Shardblade guards. So what did you think about Shallan having to create basically a whole new person in order for her to use her Shardblade?
Kind of reminds me of that one chick who does all the things. She puts patterns or whatever on things and then
the Soul
turns
Stamp
into
girl?
different things. Yeah.
What is her name? It's gonna bother me. What the fuck was her name? can't remember her fucking name. But yeah, so yeah, she basically can make herself into other people. I think I talked about it briefly before, how like I feel like the soul casting and the soul stamps are like very similar. Like I think we've talked about how like, oh, there's like sometimes some similar powers on different planets, just like slightly different. And I think it's because like a lot of these powers were like core to Adalnasium, and then they were like slightly modified when the shards started like taking them in different directions. So yeah, the soul stamps and the soul casting I think are like aspects of the same power that Adalnasium was able to grant, like able to like people under Adalnasium could use and stuff like that. Just like how there's different aspects of light weaving, like I think I told you about how like there's like Hoid has light weaving, but it's not Rosharan light weaving. There's like Yolish light weaving, and so like the light weaving, I think on Roshar is like a little bit different than the light weaving that Hoid has, and I think probably also honestly like the like hair changing thing on Warbreaker, and like how like the returned were able to like change how they look based on like their perceptions when they were reborn. Like that's probably like technically an aspect almost of light weaving. So there's like these different aspects of like the same power systems throughout that are just like altered by whatever shard is controlling them. Yeah, so Brightness Radiant states that she doesn't need a shard.
Chapter 16. We were finishing the book.
Almost. But yeah, so Brightness Radiant says she doesn't need one of the Shardblade guards, as Pattern can dull himself, although Aelin says he does need one. He also glances at Shallan as she realizes she had enhanced her bust size without realizing it, since she'd been trying to make herself look more like Yasna. Radiant immediately strikes a pose with her Shardblade, commenting that Shallan had drawn people wielding them previously. Aelin doesn't seem to catch on to her speaking in the third person, but he does find it weird when she calls him Brightlord Colon, when he starts trying to think of ways to improve her center of balance. She plays it off as her trying to be a bit more respectful in this sort of situation, which Aelin says there's no need for. They spend a couple of hours with Aelin readjusting Radiant's form over and over again. He goes over a lot of practical ideas, but also talks about weird things like respecting the Shardblade and it being a part of you. So what do you think about how reverent of Shardblades the men in Alethi are taught to be?
Corpse worshippers. They
are corpse worshippers.
Eventually they're going to say they found the Necronomicon. They're a bunch of necromancers.
Oh my god. Wait.
What?
What if you like what if you get all the gemstones and just make it an ultimate like sword?
Yeah, let's collect all the Infinity Stones.
I don't think adding extra gemstones to the shard blades will do anything. I don't know if they mention if it like needs to be a specific gemstone either. I think it's just like you attach a gemstone, like somehow you're able to like connect to the shard blade through that.
It's gotta do something.
I'm wondering if it's kind of like, because they're dead Spren, it's kind of like related to the whole, oh, you can capture Spren in gemstones to make Fabrials type thing. So it's like, oh, you're like holding onto their soul with the gemstone. I'm not 100% sure. They don't really go into like how the whole like, how does this like gemstone somehow make the sword able to bond to you?
Ugh. Okay.
Like they don't go into it at all? We're never gonna see it?
I don't think so. Their explanation of it is just like, oh yeah, they're dead shard blades, so they no longer can be like summoned and unsummoned like a living one. And then so we attach a gemstone to make them into kind of a Fabrial, and now we can summon and unsummon them. I think that's the most they go into it.
That's so... Ugh.
They go into a lot of information about other Fabrials in the fourth book, so maybe I'm just forgetting things, but I don't think they really like go into the details of like why adding the gemstone to the sword makes it bond to you. Because like also the shard plate doesn't summon and unsummon. You have to like carry that around with you.
Yeah. Why can't they add Fabrials to the shard plate to do that though?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Like they added gemstones to the shard plate and it lets it like regrow itself when it breaks, but it doesn't like make it summonable.
To make you summonable.
Speak much?
But yeah, so eventually Adolin is happy with Radiant's form and says she needs to practice swinging the sword using that same stance thousands of times until it becomes second nature. Then he tells her that she needs to relearn how to breathe. They speak a bit about how Shardblades are Spren and how Adolin's Shardblade used to be a Spren of a Radiant long ago. Adolin says he always knew there was something special about the blades, but not exactly that they'd been alive. After practicing swinging the sword some more with Adolin, Radiant grabs Shallan's sketchbook and lets Shallan bleed through a bit as she sketches the form that Adolin is using. She does one at the start of the form and one at the end of the swing before going back to swinging her own Shardblade. Shallan found that Adolin's love of using the sword was similar to her own love for drawing, so she found herself bleeding between Shallan and Radiant throughout the rest of the training session so that she could enjoy spending time with Adolin. Eventually their training ends, and it's late enough that Shallan thinks she'll have to go looking for information at the taverns another night. So what do you think about how like Shallan kind of was like going in between herself and Radiant throughout that scene?
That love for Adolin, sure.
Mm-hmm. Do you think she'll eventually be able to use her Shardblade without being Radiant?
I hope so. Stop being Stop being a little bitch.
Oh.
So let me get our final chapter, chapter 16, called Wrapped 3 Times. And the epigraph is, "For in this comes the lesson," from Oathbringer Preface. We switch back to Dalnor's point of view as he stares down at the honor blade that Szeth had been using, which Kaladin had taken from him when he defeated Szeth. He notes that it looks like a shard blade, except that it doesn't have a gemstone on its pommel. Dalnor also notes that it doesn't scream when he touches it, and feels warm to the touch, almost like it's alive. The Stormfather explains that shard blades scream because they are the corpses of dead Spren, whereas honor blades were created directly by honor. Dalnor then asks about Shardplate, and the Stormfather says it's similar to shard blades, but still different. He also mentions that Dalnor has not spoken the oaths to learn more about it yet. So what ideal do you think you learn more about Shardplate? 4th or 5th? Because we know there's 5 ideals. When you get to the 3rd ideal, you get to the sword. So you think the 4th ideal is the Shardplate?
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree, Darkness? Do you think it's 4th ideal or 5th ideal?
How many ideals we got?
5.
5.
In total?
Yeah.
Yeah, total.
Yeah, it's 4.
Okay. So you think you get sword, then plate. Do you think you get something else at 5th level, like another item, or do you think it's like just something else?
Higher understanding.
Mm.
You gain a reason to betray everyone.
Oh damn!
Yep,
Do you think all the Knights Radiants were 5th ideal when they all betrayed everyone?
Yep.
Damn. So Dalnor asks if the Stormfather can break oaths, which he says he can't. Dalnor then asks if Odium can break oaths, and the Stormfather explains that he cannot either because he is part of Adonasium. Dalnor thinks briefly that the death of Honor at least gives him hope that Odium can also be killed. He then thinks about the contest of champions and asks the Stormfather why Odium would agree to a contest. The Stormfather explains that if Odium were to fight directly, it might draw out beings that could harm him. The shards do not change, and because of this, Odium cannot heal from being injured. However, losing in a contest of champions would only cost Odium time, which he has endless amounts of. So what do you think about the shards not being able to break oaths because Adonasium couldn't?
I mean, that makes things a lot easier when you're trying to make deals with someone.
So that's kind of the explanation for like, oh, this is why Ruin and Preservation had their whole thing, and like why Preservation was dying was because he broke his oath and all these things. So yeah, all of the shards are if they give an oath and say they're going to do something, they have to do it, otherwise it could kill them. Also, what do you think about the fact that shards cannot heal if they are injured?
Like a plate. If it breaks, you can try to put it back together, but it's not going to be the same.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be shattered.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so apparently
like the shattered planes.
It takes a lot to like injure a shard. Like it's very difficult to find something that could actually injure a shard. But if you do injure a shard, they're just like
permanent,
fucked forever now.
Huh?
Unless you do a thing like Sazed, where you like combine them with another shard or something and make a new one.
I don't believe you can't just like put a shard back together though.
Yeah, you just give it love and friendship, you know.
You just gotta catch them all.
That too. Collect them like the Infinity Stones.
Gotta
Gather
complete
up
the
all the
Pokédex.
little spren and you force them into one big shard, which is honor. Shove them all together.
And then Honor's back, and we will never have to worry about it again.
Yeah, what if you just make like a giant Pokeball sphere of a gem and you just shove a shit ton like every single fucking spread available?
Don't know.
And Honor becomes whole again. And then if we do that enough, we'll get Adonasium.
So Downer then glances around the room he's in, knowing the large shaft built through the ceiling and floor. He thinks that there were likely sewage pipes.
Shaft.
Oh my god. There are likely sewage pipes going through here, and that there is evidence of them all over the tower. Navani wishes to make these things work again, as their current systems were inefficient and inelegant. Downer hides the honor blade inside one of the sewage shafts so that it would be hard to find.
Yep. Hides it in the shaft.
As Downer leaves, the Stormfather asks what Downer would do with such a powerful weapon. Downer just says he needs to think carefully about it. He does think that it would let them have a Windrunner without Kaladin if need be, such as to take someone to one of the Oathgate cities and open it, as the Stormfather confirmed the Honor Blades would work on Oathgates. So do you think Elhokar will wait for Kaladin to come back, or do you think someone else is
Absolutely not.
No, you think someone else is going to go with the Windrunner Honor Blade?
Yeah, he's definitely not. Yeah, he's definitely not going to wait for Kaladin to get back. That's crazy.
Do you agree, Darkness? Do you think he's going to not wait for Kaladin?
We don't even know if Kaladin's gonna make it back, so yeah, he might not just wait.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like, right now, Kaladin's just doing his own thing. Kaladin seems to have like no concrete plans. Huh?
Kaladin just surrendered. What do you mean?
He did. He's just hanging out with the Voidbringers. It's fine. He's just hanging out. He's like, oh yeah, I'll get back eventually. It's fine. Just gonna hang out with these.
Yeah, they don't need me. Yeah, they absolutely don't need me. Anything, you know.
Definitely not a super important person here. I can just go off and do my own side quests. Kaladin's literally just doing side quests right now.
I mean, sometimes that's needed, so.
He's just trying to level up a bit before going back. Get some experience points.
Oh my god.
So Downer enters the more populated sections of the tower and eventually meets up with some guards from Bridge 13. One man, Rial, questions why Downer was wandering alone when he had said no one should do that. Downer is annoyed that the man is questioning him and learns that the man likely had the habit before becoming a bridgeman, although Rial insists it's a new habit since he's a new man since becoming a bridgeman. Downer then asks about the time, and Rial mentions that if Downer used the watch Navani made him, he'd know what the time is, which also annoys Dalinar, even though Rial says he isn't technically questioning Dalinar by stating that. Dalinar stalks off to his and Navani's rooms and reluctantly puts on the watch, knowing that he has an hour until his next meeting. So what did you think about Rial here? This guy just like pissing Dalinar off.
Very bad idea. He might, burn your city down or something and kill you.
The thrill. It's coming for you.
Thrill's coming for him. Also, do you think we're going to see more of Rial, or do you think this is like the only chapter we're going to see him in?
No, we're definitely going to see more of them. Seems like a very influential character.
Bridge 13 guy.
Yeah.
He's like, Downer, maybe you should just wear your fucking watch if you want to know what the time is. Your wife made you a fucking watch. She invented watches so that you wouldn't be late. Maybe you should wear it.
I like that he literally looked at it and he was like, how'd they make it so small?
Yeah. So Downer then heads down to some sparring grounds a level below and notes that all but one Swordmaster Ardent has a shaved head and squared beard. Downer tells one of the Ardents to expand the sparring grounds to an adjacent room, as he wants to keep his soldiers busy and out of trouble. He also asks to spar with this Ardent, but the Ardent politely refuses, but says they will if commanded. The other Ardents also do not look Dalinar in the eyes. Dalinar gives in and tells the Ardent to find someone who will spar with him, and the other Ardents, except for Zahel, also leave. Dalinar asks if Zahel is not going to leave as well, but Zahel mentions that he doesn't really care what Dalinar does. He, however, does state that the other Ardents are worried about being forced to choose between Dalinar and their religion. That even things that Dalinar doesn't consider momentous make the Ardents worry about what Dalinar will do next. So what do you think about how conflicted the Ardents are about how to handle Dalinar now that he's questioning their religion?
He's a heretic.
He insists he's not a heretic. He's like, no, I just need proof that God exists. I'm not a heretic.
Yeah, heretic. Yeah, that's exactly what a heretic would say.
Definitely not a heretic.
Mm-hmm. You're not going to prove me otherwise, so.
These are the exact words that made me think of the little intro chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Author.
So it makes me think. Yeah, makes me think that this is all Dalinar for sure.
So Dalinar then decides to spar with one of his general's sons, agreeing to a wrestling match as the man says he isn't ready for a sword spar. They begin wrestling, and Araton gains the advantage by bringing Dalinar down to the mat. Dalinar reacts too slowly as he's out of practice. He instinctively begins to try to reach for the thrill, but then stops himself, although he isn't sure if he could reach for it so easily anyways after months without feeling it. Dalinar also wants to reach for the stormlight he can feel nearby, but he doesn't feel that would be fair, so he doesn't do that either. Just as Dalinar thinks maybe he can twist out of the hold, Navani interrupts them. The two break apart, and Dalinar concedes Araton as the winner. Dalinar then internally scolds himself for not tapping out of the fight when he was beaten, and thinks he won't be fighting ever again. However, he subconsciously expected to be the one fighting Odium's champion, but it made more sense for him to assign that duty to someone like Kaladin. So who do you think is going to end up being Dalinar's champion? Is it going to be Dalinar or someone else?
I hate the fact that Dalinar literally thought, I'm the champion, I'm gonna fight the other champion. Like, shut the fuck up. You know damn well you're not gonna be able to do that. Especially at your ripe age of fucking
To be honest,
800.
He's like
to be honest,
52.
Kaladin should be his champion.
You think Kaladin's going to be the
should
champion?
be. And then Kaladin
Yeah, I think he should be. I don't know if he will be,
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah.
So you think Kaladin's the right choice, but maybe not the choice that's going to happen?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that means Dalinar is going to send himself in, even though he shouldn't, or do you think he's going to choose someone else?
Nope. Probably. Doesn't seem like a very smart person to me.
What if he sends himself in, right? And then Kaladin swoops in, right? And tries to take it on because, like, he's like, Dalinar's gonna die, and then he dies in the process.
He dies.
Mm-hmm. And then I end the podcast and I never come back forever.
Do you really think we're going to get the contest of champions in this book?
No, this is a matchup, not the whole. Yeah.
So Navani then states that the Iriali Queen is wanting to start their meeting early due to some reading of the waves. Dalinar's annoyed, but he won't say no to the meeting since Iriali has an oath gate and Rear also has one. Dalinar convinces Navani to set up the span reed here in the sparring chamber, and then forces Kadash into sparring with him. The Iriali Queen greets them by mentioning the One and how even though the Everstorm brings pain, it is a wondrous new experience for the One. Dalinar tells the Iriali Queen that he wants everyone to work together, although Kadash asks how Dalinar can really want unity when he's ripping their people apart. The Iriali Queen then mentions how the Alethi haven't been relevant since the Sun. I love that. You guys haven't been relevant. Like, why would I work with you? I love that so much because we get so much Alethi POV that she's like, you guys aren't even relevant to world politics. Like, why do I care? Yeah, so she says he hasn't been relevant since the Sunmaker was around, and that the Voidbringers have shown power and give good terms to them. Dalinar is shocked that they'd be willing to work with the Voidbringers. However, the Iriali Queen goes on about how maybe the best way to avoid war would be to allow the Voidbringers to have whatever they want, as this is one option they don't think was explored in the past, and thus a new experience for the One. She also calls Dalinar a thief, which Dalinar thinks is in reference to Adolin's shard plate. So what do you think about the Iriali considering allowing the Voidbringers to do whatever they want because it's something that has not been tried before?
I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, what's the quote? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Yeah. So she's like, you know, every other time there's been a desolation, we've tried to fight them off. Maybe we should just let them do what they want.
Maybe they're right with what they, maybe they're the true rulers of this world and we should just let them do what they want. They've been here longer than us anyways.
Is true insanity doing the same thing over and over again, but actually getting a different result?
But actually, because you don't realize it's a different result because you're insane? Do you mean, or?
Because, like, what if it just clicks? Like, you never know.
But yeah, what do you think, Darkness, about the Iriali just being like, yeah, no, let's just let the Voidbringers do what they want? we'll just be like, yeah, sure, go for it.
I would not survive in that world because I'm so petty. Like I'm telling you, somebody was like that. You know what? You're right. Let's do it. And then at the end, when we're all fucking struggling in the flames of hell, I'm gonna be like, you see, this is what you got.
Now you know why we shouldn't have done that.
And they'll be like, but it was a new experience. We hate this, but it's good. But yeah, so Kadash and Dalinar then go back and forth a bit about Dalinar calling the Almighty dead, and how Dalinar can go back on traditions and society. Dalinar, however, tells a story about traditions he learned from his swordmaster. He said he would tie his takama a certain way, and that the only answer he got about it was how the man's swordmaster also did it that way. Eventually, Dalinar got to his master's master's master, and learned that the reason he tied his belt that way was so that he wouldn't trip over it, not for any, actual, traditional reason, or, a reason that, people should, follow that. Dalinar explains that he will fight for tradition, but just because something is old does not make it right. He then glances for more information about...
I agree with that. Just because something is old, and because it's been done 100 million times, and it was done kind of right, doesn't mean that there's not more that you could do, something different you could do.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that
might work better.
A good thing. Just because it's tradition doesn't mean it's a good thing to do. It's there's good traditions, and then there's things like, oh yeah, women were never allowed to vote, so maybe they should just never vote because it's tradition.
That was a great thing.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Yeah, just like women should never be the president.
Or in charge of a podcast.
Wow. But yeah, so he then glances for more information about the Iriali Queen from Navani, but it seems the conversation isn't going anywhere. Dalinar tells Navani to ask the Queen if they can make personal reparations before moving forward with political agreements. He then tells Kadash that he will accept the authority of the heralds, that he will accept that honor helped them in the past, but that he won't trust the teachings of the church without proof that they are true. So yeah, what do you think about Dalinar insisting he is not a heretic while also denying core aspects of the Vorn religion?
While being a heretic, gotcha.
Yeah, he's basically like, I'm not a heretic, but also I'm doing all these things which make me a heretic.
Not a heretic, though, guys.
What do you think about that, Darkness?
Are you really a heretic when you already have part of your god telling you that you're doing the right things?
Yeah, but no one believes him, so... And no one's like...
So then who's really the true heretics there, then? If you don't believe in your own god's will,
Is that not kind of how, Judaism and Catholicism and everything separated, all these things?
Yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into
I
this.
don't want to fully into it, but
let's get into religion.
But Dalinar's just basically making a new branching path of the Vorn religion. He's like, yes, the Almighty was God, but also the Almighty's dead. And this is my new form of the religion. This is Dalinar Vornism.
Guys, I don't know anything about real life religions.
Really, you don't?
No. I stepped in the church twice in my life.
You're about to learn.
No, we're not, that was as far as I was going into it.
Let's go down this path. Here we go. 3 more hours.
I also don't know enough about religion to do that.
I'm waiting for Dalinar to split the Red Sea right now. But it's gonna be a Sea of Spheres.
No. What's gonna happen is that Kaladin is actually Dalinar's bastard son, and he'll come back 3 days later, or whatever the fuck the thing is. He does die, but he comes back 3 days later.
Bastard son? Bastard son?
Yeah, isn't it because if he wasn't because if it's not through marriage or something, if it's not he's not Adel and Renner's brother.
Technically, Mary just became pregnant. Didn't have any relations with anybody. She was a virgin.
No, but I was going through a different thing. I'm if Dalinar is God. Anyways, so he then
Dalinar's not God though. He's never stated he was God. He just stated that God was dead.
That's true. Kaladin is just immaculate conception from Honor himself.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we then
Kaladin is just Jesus.
They said he will die, but he'll come back 3 days later. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
But he's not a bastard, though.
He's dying metaphorically.
No, I think he's dying actually. He's actually going to die, just like Midnight said. He's going to die, and then somebody's going to bring him back to life.
I mean, Zeth got brought back to life. Why can't Kaladin?
Exactly.
That's not about back to life?
Yeah, remember, Zeth dies when he fights Kaladin, and then Nail aka you,
Brings him
Darkness,
back.
brought him back to life.
Oh yeah, I forgot people could bring back people to life in this fucking.
No. Nail was able to like reattach Seth's soul to his body.
Wait. Do we know anyone that can do that? Who
I
shares
think
anything with
Nail.
Lift?
We've only seen Nail do it.
We know Nail can do it. That's
Well,
how we
Lift
know
can bring
it's.
people back too.
Oh yeah, I guess Lift was. So I guess anyone who has the progression
yeah.
surge can also do it.
Does what's his name Renarin have that?
Renarin also has the progression surge. I think he doesn't. I don't think he's
He'll
done
bring
it
him
yet,
back.
but he probably could.
He'll do it. That's what he'll do at the end. He's gonna bring back
That's
Kaladin
mostly,
because
yeah.
he's so in love with Kaladin.
Mhm.
Kaladin and Renarin, they're gonna get together.
Yeah, just like Lift loved the one guy,
Gox.
loved whatever. Yeah, and brought him back. Adolin loves, or no, Adolin, right? No,
Renarin.
Oh my god, Renarin.
Renarin.
Renarin loves
Adolin and
Kaladin.
Renarin.
Oh my god.
Love Kaladin. It's gonna be a 3-way love triangle.
No. We already have the 3-way love triangle of Shallan, Adolin, and Kaladin.
Well, Shallan's also added. It's gonna be a square now.
Oh my god.
Square relationship. Woo.
But the only thing we do know about bringing people back is it has to be like right as they die, basically. So like, because remember,
Wait.
Lift I think tries to bring someone else back to life during Edge Dancer, but it's too late. She gets to them too late.
No, she doesn't love him enough. That's why.
I do want to
Yeah, it's
point out
obvious.
the more people we add to that relationship triangle,
Yeah.
the closer
Where?
we get, the closer we get to a pentagram.
Okay.
How many do we need for a pentagram, Darkness?
Quite a bit. There might be some incest involved, considering the characters you're picking. But
Oh my gosh. There's
I'm
no
just
line
saying.
between Renarin and Adolin.
yeah,
Oh
so then
my
Kaladin is
God.
probably gonna pop in here somewhere.
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus.
All right. Where were we?
Also, wait, did y'all not fucking feel weird about the fact that she copied Shallan, not Shallan, that Shallan copied Jasmine's breast, but she's talking to Adolin? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Adolin looks over and he's like, he's definitely thinking, are those bigger? Like,
Yep.
yeah, but like,
I mean,
who's
she's
she
just
copying?
pregnant.
No?
Adolin,
yeah, she's copying his
she's
cousin.
just pregnant.
Like,
Adolin,
is
she's
that
just
not
pregnant.
weird?
Her boobs are
Well,
getting
I
bigger.
think it's implied, or like, a lot of fans have said in Brandon's like, yeah, sure, we can go with that, but it's not how I originally wrote it. But like, people are like, Shallan definitely seems like she has a thing for Yasna. So like, when she's thinking of Yasna and remaking herself like her, she's like, oh, she's thinking of Yasna's boobs apparently,
Yep.
subconsciously.
Because she really likes Yasna, 100%.
Yep.
I mean,
Oh my god!
Anyway.
there was a word. There was a word of Brandon where there's a lot of people who joke about like how Shallan, Adolin, and Kaladin should all be in a 3-way relationship together. And someone asked Brandon at a convention about it, and Brandon's reply was, "Adolin and Shallan would probably be for it, but Kaladin's too much of a prude to agree to
yeah,
it."
agree. But Kaladin definitely should be involved in that, for sure.
So technically, if Kaladin was more open to things, they could have had a 3-way relationship.
Oh, if he was open? Oh, man, I didn't know they had an open relationship.
To be
Now
fair,
we're getting Adolin in there.
all he would really need to reach that like step would be a little bit more trauma.
A little bit more what?
Trauma.
Chocolate?
Okay.
Oh.
Trauma.
I mean, we could
'Cause it
just
feels like-
rewire his...
It feels like whenever he needs a little push, he just gets traumatized and he gets it, you know?
Okay. He just needs to be stuck down in the chasms with Adolin like he was with Shallan.
Yeah, because like, what if like what if they like go to that one place the heralds were like trapped in forever, right?
Oh, Braze.
And then what if it's just them, and then they just like get a connection?
And I'm just gonna get stuck there for 1,000 years.
And their only means of keeping sane are each other. Oh my god, I should write a little fanfiction. Hold on.
Anyways, so yeah, Dalinar leaves the room with Navani after sticking Kadash to the ground. So yeah, they prove here. I think we talked about it last episode, but yeah, Dalinar has also the like sticky powers that Kaladin has. So he sticks
he
Kadash
can
to the
get
ground.
real sticky. Yep, he gets real sticky.
He sticks Kadash to the ground and then asks Navani how valid the Queen's claim to Adolin's shard plate is. But Navani replies that she really doesn't have one, since it was through marriage to Evie that Dalinar got the shard plate to give to their son. Suddenly, Dalinar can hear Evie's name and see her face in his head, causing him to slump to the floor as memories assault him. So yeah, we get Dalinar's wife's name. Her name is Evie. Or Evie. I'm not really sure. I call her Evie. Yeah, Evie.
I think it said Evie.
Is it said Evie? Okay. I usually call
I
her
thought
Evie.
it said Evie.
I call her Evie just because that's how I read it. But anyway, so
isn't that what Brandon said about
yeah,
the names and stuff? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
if you add an L at the end of that name, I'm just saying.
So do you think Dalinar has remembered everything about his wife, or just her name and face?
Just her name and face.
He remembers after that.
You think he remembers more than that?
Like after hearing the name, he remembers.
Well, it says like memories assault him, but it says like he can see her face now. So like it's a little vague about whether he can just
vague, yeah, little vague.
Whether he can just like he just knows her name and face now, or if he like actually fully remembers her. But yeah, so our overview questions, going straight into the stuff about Evie. Why do you think Dalinar can suddenly remember Evie? Just out of nowhere.
This is all he sees.
Okay. Wait, no, it has to be a shiny Evie because apparently she was blonde.
Is shiny Evie yellow?
I think shiny Evie is like a lighter color. Or are they silver?
It's a silver.
Oh, damn.
Silver, yeah.
I thought they were like a light yellow for some reason.
You like gave me like stuff that.
Yeah. Anyways,
evil.
Why do you think that Dalinar can remember her? All of a sudden.
I think he's unlocking his next, whatever it's called, oath or whatever.
What's changed? What did he do?
Absolutely nothing. He just gets lucky.
Doesn't really seem like he did anything. He stuck Kadash to the floor, walked away, and then was like, and then Navani like mentions. So the thing is, she mentions his wife here. So like, we know that like I think it's a few chapters ago she mentioned her, and he couldn't hear her. So at some point between the last time Dalinar's wife was brought up and now, something's happened
maybe
where
he's
now
just
he can hear her name.
Maybe it's just because he's getting stronger.
You think maybe like the rating ability somehow like reverse the Night Watcher stuff?
Maybe.
Because the whole thing with the Night Watcher is like it's supposed to be like he can't, as far as he's aware, it's I'm able to like do shit again and not be like weighed down by like my alcoholism and grief, but I forget my wife.
What if it's his lack of use of the thrill?
Oh, you think maybe the thrill was somehow keeping the curse like from like working somehow?
Because like, what if like the Night Watcher or whatever the fuck they're called was like, oh, the more you use this, the less you remember.
Maybe. Yeah, we haven't seen like
used it in a while, right?
Yeah, he hasn't apparently used it in months. I think the last time he used it was during book 1. Because I think in book 1 he uses a thrill and he's like, oh, I really feel like horrible after using it. I don't like this anymore. And then he like stops using it less and less because it makes him feel sick.
Yeah. I want to go with that. It might be unlikely, but I feel like it'd be a cool little plot.
So also, what do you think is going to happen between Dalinar and the Ardents? Because like things are getting tense.
Marriage. I mean, that's what happened, right? They were talking about the marriage.
I mean, they were talking about the marriage, but they were saying like, yeah, I think Kadash was saying like, oh, if you like stop saying the Almighty's dead, maybe they'll accept your marriage to Navani.
Not happening.
Oh my god! I just thought of it. This would be a great idea.
Okay.
I don't think this is what's going to happen, but it would be hilarious. Okay. What if, because he's getting closer and closer to marrying Navani, he's starting to remember. Oh, okay. So yeah, all right. So he married Navani. So he's starting to remember his old wife, and he's going to start forgetting Navani.
Oh, you think because he's got a new wife, the thing was wife and not specifically Evie?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going to like transfer?
So because she's his new wife, he's gonna start forgetting Navani now.
Damn.
That would be so sad.
Because words are power. So you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It really depends on how his curse and boon was worded.
Mm-hmm.
That's so sad.
Maybe he's just gonna forget Navani, and I'll be so happy because I hate Navani.
Navani's cool.
But then again, I feel like Evie probably was terrible too, because like Darkness said, just put an L.
She's one letter away from evil. Also, do you think that there are more murders that either have or will happen?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
They have
definitely.
happened. And probably will happen.
Who or what do you think is causing these murders?
Renarin.
Yes, agree.
I'm joking. But, like,
No, I'm not.
what if it was the Ardent?
Kadash?
Yeah, can you imagine?
That'd be crazy.
Because he does seem like he's upset at what's his name?
Dalinar? Yeah.
Dalinar.
Yeah, he's definitely upset with Dalinar. I mean, Kadash, they've kind of implied, like, knows things about the stuff that, like, Dalinar's flashbacks are about and some of the stuff that Dalinar doesn't remember. And he's, like, kind of salty about, like, something that happened that Dalinar, like, doesn't know about at the moment.
Yeah, so why wouldn't he want to destroy it from the inside if Dalinar's not, like, his bestie?
You're happy with the Renarin idea, Mythic? You think Renarin's killing everyone?
Yeah, I think it's Renarin. It's definitely Renarin.
Also, what do you think is going to happen between Kaladin and the Voidbringers that he's come across? Like, now that he's surrendered, what's going to happen there?
Well, he's gonna try to find out what they're exactly doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I feel like he's gonna learn a lot.
So he's gonna like kind of like be their captive and like try and figure out information.
Mm-hmm.
What were you gonna say, Darkness?
I don't even think they're gonna be able to like keep him captive or anything like that. Like they're gonna be like, he's here. What do we do now? But I feel like it goes either two ways. He finds out that they're not what they expected, and then he has to go back and report on it, or he finds out they're not what they expected, and he takes them with him.
Mm-hmm.
Which, backlash from the main group at Ursuru, but
I think Verlaine might be happy to have some more people around. More
Verlaine can fuck off.
More listeners around. I love Verlaine. He's such a good character.
We haven't heard him in a while.
We haven't. I think we saw him briefly at like the very beginning of the book. That was about it. But yeah, do we want to do we kind of do in the last couple episodes the theorizing about the names of the chapters for the next episode?
Oh.
So
is that going to become a thing now?
I guess so. You guys seem to like it.
I like it.
Yeah, you guys were enjoying it.
It's a great idea. We come up with a bunch of funny, like who's gonna be this one?
Yeah, there's another podcast.
I don't ever remember who though. But
I think you guys had definitely thought there was gonna be a flashback chapter this episode, which there was not.
Maybe
there needs to be more flashbacks.
Yeah, there's another podcast that also does they've been doing it since the beginning. That like, based on the chapter title, what do you think? Whose character do you think it is? But,
so what you're saying is we're copying them.
We're a little bit, but I think it's okay. It's a fun idea, and I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so chapter 17 is going to be called Trapped in Shadows. So who's like chapter is that?
Dalinar. Dalinar's Trapped in Shadows.
That's going to be a Shalon chapter.
Alright. Double Vision is chapter 18.
Shalon.
Who wears glasses? No,
Renarin wears... Oh no, he doesn't anymore. Renarin healed his vision when he became a Radiant. I don't think we know anyone else who wears glasses.
Oh my god, it's that one girl from Chest of the Emerald Sea.
The girl who can't aim for shit.
Yeah.
And then chapter.
Oh wait, that one. Wait, that one's Dalinar.
Oh, you think Double Vision is Dalinar?
Yeah, it's literally like visions.
Okay. And then we got chapter 19 is the subtle art of diplomacy.
That's Dalinar.
That's Kaladin.
Oh, actually, yeah, no, I agree. Kaladin.
You think it's gonna be diplomacy with the Voidbringers?
It's gonna be diplomacy without diplomacy. No, Kaladin.
Does Kaladin know how to do diplomacy?
The very subtle art of diplomacy.
Chapter 20 is cords cords to bind.
Shalon. No.
Yeah.
Fuck. That could be Dalinar.
No, I agree with you on Shalon.
Yeah, but if Dalinar's a fucking bondsmith, bro.
True.
That's the thing, right? It's a bondsmith?
Yeah, he's a bondsmith.
Yeah. I keep all this fucking like information stored in my brain so unorganizedly, but it pulls out whenever I need it.
It could also be though Kaladin getting tied up by the Voidbringers as a captive.
No.
No.
No? Okay.
That's not gonna ever happen.
Okay.
He's super
I mean-
strong. He ain't
I mean-
getting captured.
I mean, Kaladin would. It'd be if Kaladin allows them to. Like he specifically said, like I could take them, all, but if he like
Nah.
wants information,
No.
I could take every last one of these people, but I'm going to just let them take me captive.
We know he's kinky, but he's not that into bondage yet.
Oh,
chapter-
I feel like he might be.
Chapter 21 is set up to fall.
Also,
Dalinar.
Dalinar, yeah.
Mm. And then our final chapter, chapter 22, is the darkness within.
It's me.
Darkness is here, yay! Yeah, it's going to be a nail
That's
chapter.
it.
Be a nail
It's
chapter.
that's it.
It's a
a nail
death
chapter,
chapter.
100%.
I mean, Zeth is with nail. It could be both.
I say it's
I mean, I agree. Yeah, it's a Zeth chapter, but I'm just saying, I think it's nail. Like, incorporating nail in there.
So we're doing chapters 17 to 22 next week. Thank you so much to our Patreons, Hubris, Kaladin Dies in Book 3, Kyle, and Danny the Spoon Lord for being our Patreons. We really appreciate you. Also, I haven't mentioned in a while, but if you want to send us an email with any questions or comments, please feel free to email us at corruptedmidnightttv@gmail.com. It's always in the description of the episodes.
No, send me all of the spoilers
Do
so
not
that I
send those
can know
spoilers.
everything.
You're emailing
You
me
should send
directly so I can curate them.
You should send us fan art of like ships and little fanfiction write-ups, you know?
Yeah, that have somewhat spoilers.
No spoilers. All right, but yes, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.